We have two projects today, y'all. Hey, y'all. APG Jamie here. And today we're going to make a postage stamp storage folio plus something else. Basically along the same lines. So I'm using a scrapbook cardstock. Okay. It's 12 by 12. I had to trim off the little rough edge. You know, sometimes when you tear them out of the paper pad, you get a rough edge. And by the way, this is my second time to try this voiceover. The first one was just a failed attempt. It didn't record. It didn't do whatever it was supposed to do. It didn't. So we're trimming that off, and I'm going to trim it in half so I end up with the 6 by 12. Okay? Okay. This got nuts and bolts on it, y'all. It's fun. It's a juvenile pad that I'm trying to use up. Okay. Okay. So we're going to use this here Sizzix on the edge die. I'm going to cut two pieces of cardstock at the same time. I'm just laying it on there. Should have taped it because one of them got a little cockeyed. We'll fix it. We'll struggle to fix it. Okay. Just be on the lookout for that struggling part. So we're putting it in there, gonna run it through the Big Shot. That's one of those magic mats, you know. It's like a reusable cutting mat. Over heaven's sakes, what are those things called? I don't know what they're called. I know what they're called, but I can't think of that words right now. So I flipped the die around because it's got two different tab positions on it. Okay, and we got 4 of these here things. We're going to make 4 of them so it doesn't cut all the way to the end because my strips of paper were longer than the die cuts. Okay, just trimming it off with a pair of scissors. It's okay, still works. And I'm looking down at my screen and I can see that it looks like it's actually recording the voiceover this time. Okay? Okay. Y'all, I said some of the best stuff. Some of the best stuff. It was like going to be my bestest voiceover ever. But no. So that one's okay. This one's a little more wonky than what I want. That doesn't have to be precise because, you know, even when you buy stuff from the store, brand new, machine made, it is sometimes so not precise. Now, I'm going to be struggling with my ruler and my little thing, my cutting mat there, and I'm going to try to get it all lined up. Got my little craft knife going on and laying my ruler on there. I'm like, yeah, that's where I want to cut. Oh, wiggling it around. Sometimes it's such a struggle, y'all, sometimes. And measurements aren't that important on this thing. Well, my measurements aren't. Yours might be. Oh, I finally got smart. I'm like, well, flip it over so I can see what I'm actually going to cut off. I got it straight. I could have used scissors, in which case it would have been wobbly. It might have been straight, but it would have been wobbly straight. It's okay. And we're going to round the corners. I'm going to try to round the tab, or that one corner up next to the tab. It doesn't fit in the tabber, the rounder. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm like, what am I going to do? Okay. So here we are, just doing the tabs. And I also inked around all of them. I don't think you could see that part. It's just inking around it, y'all. You don't have to. You don't want to. What made me do it? I don't know. Because y'all know I don't always ink around stuff. So we're just going to fold them in half. I'm going to leave the tab completely free. Just folding the corner to the corner. Not including the tab. Okay. And these are approximately, more or less, mostly 6 by 6 folders. Well, actually, I guess it's like a 5.5 by 6. I don't know, because I don't know how big the tab is. Don't no matter. And I'm using tracing paper because vellum, when vellum gets wet, because I'm going to use a wet glue, more about that in a moment, it gets all wavy and wonky and curly and just all jacked up. And I'm cutting them basically an inch or so by 6 inches. Okay, I'm like, yeah, that looks about right, because this is for postage stamps. You know, we made those faux postage stamps recently-ish. Okay, I'm gonna put them in something. I even making these some, well, they're not ugly, y'all. They may not be perfect or beautimous, but you know, they're not ugly. Make yours as pretty as you want to, if you're gonna make some. Okay, which I hope you would, because they were pretty easy. It's a little fiddly with this tracing paper, and the reason I don't want to use double-sided tape is because, well, you know how the pencil line is, how it's, you know, it's space. Double-sided tape has a sticky edge, and when you put it on pockets, it's just for me, okay? I'm not judging anybody else. Do what you want to do, okay? The way you want to do it. Sometimes when you use double-sided tape and you put something in a pocket, that thing that you put in the pocket sticks to the edge of the double-sided tape. And I didn't want to mess with that. That's why I'm using wet glue, or glitter glue, actually. And I'm making basically an 1/8 of an inch score, and I'm going to fold it over, okay? Because these little strips, these tiny little strips, are going to be pockets, all right? And I'm making some measurements on my folder. They're basically, I don't know how wide they are. They're like 1 inch and 1.5 inches between the tops of the strips, okay? And each side of this little folder is going to get 4. You could make a strip that goes all the way across the whole thing if you want to. I didn't want to mess with the gap, kind of like a book crack gap, but it's not, because it's not a book. The folder crease, because sometimes those get wonky in the creases. So that's why we folded the little edge, the little sides there. We put a little glue on each of those, and all down the bottom there, we're rounding that little corner that sticks out, and we're putting it on there, and they're mostly straight. Okay, I know it's hard to see this practically invisible paper, and I'm trying them on before I add the glue, because sometimes you have to adjust just a little bit, because sometimes, you know, things don't score the way you expect them to, or perfectly, and all that kind of junk. And you know, maybe your line didn't get cut exactly straight. There again, we're not going into precise business here. So here we are, just doing the other side of the folder, just so you can see. Each side's getting 4 strips, so there's 4 pockets on each side. That gives you 8 pockets to put stamps in, okay? You could put more than one stamp. You could like put 2 or 3 stamps behind each other and put them in there like that. You can color code. You can do all that fancy kind of stuff if you want to. I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not going to do that. I don't know what I want. I don't know what color I want when I'm doing stuff. That's why I'm a flipper. I like flipping through stuff and shuffling through stuff, and that's why it takes me so long sometimes. I'm like, I don't know what I want till I see it. Then I know. Anyway, so we made 4 of these, and I'm really happy with them. And I thought, I want to make this other divided little doohickey, okay, to put them in. So basically, it's a matchbox. These, I only made one. My husband, you know, we've used these boxes before. Likes to give away the pocket knives, but you know, men always throw the boxes away. I'm like, so give me the boxes, honey. So they come with a bottom and a lid, so you kind of get two for one. And this is the top part's the fancy one, so it's got all this shiny slick surface on there, and I'm just roughing it up, just kind of sanding it off a little bit. Not real fancy. This is now going to be the bottom of a matchbox, a box, okay? And we're going to paint it with some green craft paint. Now, this craft paint ends up being kind of translucent. I didn't know it, but whatever, you know, it's just whatever. So I end up putting 3 coats of the green paint on there. You only get to see me paint one. Try not to be too disappointed by just seeing one layer, okay? But I did paint 3 coats on there, okay? You don't have to paint. You can use paper if you want to. You can make a box out of whatever kind of cardstock, I would say cardstock, that you wanted to. Okay, if you want to make a box, make a box. So on the edge, the bottom's all nice and dry, and on the edge, I'm just going to put some washi tape that just happened to be serendipitously the right size. Okay, and I'm using glue because washi tape is not a permanent tape. It's not a permanent tape. It's not designed originally to be a permanent tape. All right, use glue if you want your washi to stay put. If you don't want it necessarily to stay put, then don't use glue. But you do whatever you want to do. Okay? Okay. So I'm just smooshing it all on there. I don't know the brand of the washi tape. I'm sure someone out there does. Doesn't matter to me. I liked it, and I'm like, that's the one I'm using right there. Okay? Because once you put the outside covering on, you're not going to really see so much of it anyway. It's okay. It's all right. Don't no matter. Trimming it. Perfectly straight edge, y'all. I cut a perfectly straight edge. Just wrapping that all around there. These are, you know, other than putting a little score line on the tracing paper edges, this was pretty much just very straightforward project. And you don't have to fold over the edge. You can just straight up glue, you know, your pocket without folding over the little edge if you want to, if you're making any, which was fun. So here's a piece of heavy cardstock. It's a scrap, and serendipitously said it fit right in the bottom of that box, y'all. I had 3 little stacks of stamps. They're not all the same stamp. They're not all, you know, whatever. They're not the same size. They're, you know, but that's, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to use these. So I put paper clips on there so I could keep them bunched up. Now I'm going to do some pretend measuring here. I'm trying to be precise, y'all. This whole project trying to be precise, but I'm not going to give you measurements, true measurements, because, you know, there's a lot of faux measuring going on. Especially here, I've tried to determine how tall I need to make my little divider doohickey. Okay, I'm thinking the strip is long enough to do this. So I'm like, yeah, my first section is going to be this wide. And then I want to make a little lip between the sections. You know, a little divider between the sections. But I want it all in one smooth piece. It's fancy. So I'm like, okay, where's that at again? Oh, yeah. Oh, just wait. There'll be another little thing. I'll be like, what am I doing? Sometimes it feels like I do know what I'm doing, but sometimes it feels like I don't know what I'm doing. You know. Y'all know, don't you? Yeah, you do. I said you do, therefore you do. So I'm like, okay, so these stamps are this wide. So let's make our score mark this wide. I could have sped this part up. Oh, portions of the video have been sped up for my voiceover ease and maybe for your viewing pleasure. I don't know. Speed it up, slow it down. Find the little gear cog thing for you to do that. If your particular device allows you to do that kind of thing. Okay, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. So now I'm trying to get my other little divider thing basically the same height as the other one without coming over the top of the edge of the box. I want it lower than the edge of our box, okay? Pencil line to the rescue. Where's my score tool? That's a ball stylus. I really like using that to score with. I'm less likely to cut through the paper with it, okay? Because it's a ball instead of a straight line. There, see the little divider thingies? I know it's hard to see. I feel so far away. I'm like, yeah, let's cut it right there. Because we don't need it to come up over the edge. We've got a pretty good solid little solid-ish little box. I'm like, yeah, okay, that'll work. Try it on again. Like, yeah, okay. Cut that edge off. Don't need it. Pretty good. Look at that. It's not done yet. Just wait. We got 30 more minutes of the video. No, not really. It's not even a 30-minute video. So the little divider things, you know, little accordion face to face. Put some glue on there. Now we're going to put some aleene on there because I want it to stay stuck, and it didn't want to stay that stuck that good. So we're just going to put some aleene on there. Okay. Okay. I didn't cut out a whole lot. And it is sped up. It's just not necessarily sped up a whole lot. Because that just goes to show you how quick this was. Those little folders, 10-15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, the fiddliest part was folding the little edge and gluing it in. And that really wasn't that fiddly. So here's a piece of scrap cardstock. It's also it's dyed from something, and I'm just going to trim it down to the width of my box. Okay, and then I'm going to score a little bit. How much? I don't know, 1/4 of an inch maybe. I don't know, just because I don't want the edge of the cardstock to be right on the edge of the box. If that makes sense. We're going to cover over it. Yes, I could be more confusing if I tried. And I'm measuring it. I don't need to measure it, y'all. I'm about to realize that. I'm going to try to score it on the wrong place. We're going to fold that score because that's in the right place. And now I'm going to try to score it to the length of the box, but I already have the length of the box on the cardstock. And this is where I'm like, oh, no, no, no. That's not the way. We're going this way. Ah. Bless my heart. And then I'm going to make a measurement here, and then at some point I'm going to realize I don't need to measure it at all. I can just lay my box right there on the scoreboard on the paper and score at the closest, most convenientest score line. Y'all gonna see. I'm like, wow. Took me all day to wake up for that. Look at that. I'm like, wow. That's a good fit. Now let me get a pencil line. I'm not quite to the point yet. Almost. I'm getting there, y'all. I'm like, okay. We're just gonna lay that up there, the pencil line. We're gonna score it in that line right there. Just gonna fold that. Gonna fold to that. Look at that. Ha! What? And this is where I'm like, oh, we'll just lay it on there. Still trying to use the pencil line. Don't need to. Just lay it on there and score that baby. Just score that baby right on up. Okay. There's plenty of paper right there, y'all. We'll trim it off. We'll get there. Watch, it's just going to fold right up. And I want to fold it over, fold it just a little bit. And we're going to cut right there. Right there. Get the trimmer out. Line it up. It's mostly lined it up pretty good. It's pretty good. Now this, I glue it. I shouldn't have glued it yet because I decided it's too plain and I wanted to stamp on it. And if I had waited, it would have been easier to have stamped on. But I'm going to glue it first because I'm that kind of girl. And I kind of, you know, it's a little hard to hold it. I put the aleene on the edges. And in that center part, I'm like, oh, I need to press that together, you know, to press the glue in together. This probably would have been a good spot for some double-sided tape. But no, I'm doing a glue today. Which I do most often. Anyway. And you don't get to see me doing all the stamping, just some of it. And there at towards the end of it, See, now I'm holding it. I'm like, well, I got to hold this for 20 minutes. No, you don't have to hold it that long. You know, just maybe a minute. And, you know, in a minute's like, what, 30 seconds? 60 seconds? I don't know. I don't know how long a minute is. It could be a long time. It can be pretty fast. So, there it is. Slides right in there. Looks exactly, well, not exactly like a matchbox, because they're wider or thicker than this, whatever. Oh, that's not a pencil mark. That's just a mark on the paper. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. I love it. I'm gonna hold that some more, like this, pressed together. I'm gonna smoosh it down. I'm like, yeah, pretty good. We're gonna smoosh it down. I'm like, okay, put the scoreboard away. Okay, and I thought, well, that's awful plain looking. I thought, well, let's do some stamping on it, because it's supposed to hold stamps. It needs some stamping on it. And what am I doing? Oh, I'm getting out that box of alpha stamps my friend Vaughn sent me. Thanks again, Vaughn. They sure are coming in handy. It's not like I don't have alpha stamps, y'all. I do. But I thought, let's use these fun ones, because they're like fun. Okay? She could taste in alpha stamps. I'm glad she decided she didn't like them anymore. Didn't use them. Didn't want them. Whatever she didn't, she mailed them to me. Serendipitous. I love my friends. Anyway, I know that does sound awful braggy, doesn't it? My apologies, y'all. But they made me happy. Okay. So I'm putting my word on there. You got to be careful. Get your letters going in the right direction. Okay. You want to be sure. Test it out. Okay. Just hang on. Because I want them kind of wonky. I don't want them to be straight. Because, you know, it probably wouldn't be anyway. But, you know. And I'm like, yeah, let's use some red ink. Let's actually be smart and pre-stamp this just to make sure we got it spelled correctly and in the right order. And it's like, yeah. See, if I hadn't glued it, it would have been so much easier for me to have stamped. But no. Do it the hard way. Stamp the word stamps. I got to reuse the S because it only has one S. Which is okay because that's, you know, most alphabets only have one S. Well, no, sometimes they have an upper and a lower. Oh, well. Make no matter not. Here comes the S. Ta-da! Perfect! Stamps. Then we got to put them all back on there. Cover it all back up. Put it in the little packaging. I know I could have cut some of that out, but, you know, I didn't. I'm like, wait. We need the word postage. I'm like, oh, let's use this one. It's a delicate little font, y'all. I love it. Okay. They're unbranded. That I don't know the brand. Okay. So don't ask because I don't know. UB. When I use the letter UB in my description for what an item is, that means it's unbranded. Or if I put IDK, that means I don't know. Kind of the same thing, right? It is too. So again, I'm finding my letters, trying to spell my word out backwards, and hopefully in the correct letter orientation of up and down. Stamping it out. Ha! I did it right. Well, I think I did. Now that I'm going to be reviewing this, I'm going to be like, ooh, is that spelled right? Because, you know, a lot of times that's, you know, wiping it off a little bit. I spelled it right. And did I say I glued an actual postage stamp on there, but you don't see that part? I think that might be all the stamping you get to see. I'm not sure. Gonna have to watch and see. It's been a couple of days. Well, it's been more than a couple of days. It's probably been about 5 or 6 days since I filmed it and edited it and, you know, all that stuff. Sometimes I've got other things I have to do. It's not all fun and games around this place, y'all. Okay, there we go. Oh, I have to glue in our little divider doohickey. But maybe you'll get to see me stamp some more. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't think so. Okay. Taking LMA back off. And we're going to glue that into the bottom of our box. Now it's our box. It's not an old Castaway thrown away. Oh, here's some double-sided tape right down the middle. And I'm going to put glue all over it. Ah, y'all. Oh. If one's good, two is gooder. More gooder. Aleene's original tacky glue. Oh, I hope I put that in the ingredient list. I'm not sure. Tell you the truth. So I'm going to smear it around. Because sometimes you want to smear it around. Sometimes you might not want to. Evidently I wanted to. Okay, wiping the glue off my finger. Put that in the box. Oh, it's perfect. I think I smooshed that for a while. But it stuck pretty good to that double-sided tape, even though I did put glue on top of it too. Oh, we got a corner. Get down there, you little stubborn corner, you. I'm not worried about the inside edge of the box because you can't really even see what it was. And Champ is still in here. I'm in the bedroom doing a voiceover. Hubby's in the other room. Hopefully you're not hearing TV. Oh, flip-floppy time. See? Showing it. It's all a pocket. Each one's got 4. It's all a pockets. Nice little folio. Make yours whatever size you want to. If you're going to make them. Look. It's got some faux postage in there. Here's a more colorful one. Look, it's got faux postage in it too. You might want to leave a randomized comment. Hint, hint. There's some real postage. It's experienced postage, but it's real nonetheless. And here's our little divided box. See, I did a little more stamping and glued a stamp on there. And there's our little stamps inside. They're in the little divider sections. Pretty nifty. I like it a lot. It makes me stinking happy. Look at that. You could actually get a lot of little stamps in there, y'all. I don't know how many. I didn't count them. You know. Make yours whatever size you want to. You don't have to put dividers in there if you don't want to. You don't even have to put them in a box. You can just leave them in a Ziploc baggie. That'll work. Ta-da! Photo montage. It got nuts and bolts on them. It's the nuts and bolts of the post office. It's the postage stamp. Well, pretty much. Well, employees. Can't say that much for my office, though. No offense. Anyway, make me stinking happy. And they were easy. Okay? Easy peasy, beautiful. Cover girl. Postage stamps. Thanks for watching. And happy arting, y'all.